Hello everyone, welcome to Perspective Podcast. Yay! Okay, I am your host Ada, and we'll be talking the topic about historical development of post-secondary education in Malaysia. Here I managed to gather a few students here who has been through the post-secondary education. So may I ask for you guys' introduction and what you take before degree?
Hello, my name is NURZALYNA and I took foundation.
Hi, my name is Ira and I took STPM.
Hi, my name is ELLYSHA and I took STPM.
Hi, my name is AIDA and I post STPM.
So I see that all of us took STPM, including me, except for you. You're the odd one out. Get out. Okay, Before I'm gonna talk more about STPM, I will talking about what is post-secondary education to the viewers, because I know some of the viewers may not know this, even though I know some of you guys watching this are also took the same as us. It refers to all forms of education after high school, such as university, STPM, matriculation, foundation, and diploma. So you took all of these after you finish high school, especially SPM. So if you never take SPM, you're doomed. So the purpose of why it exists, first is for your knowledge and skill development, because post-secondary education is not the same as high school. And there you will gain advanced skills in specific fields. So unlike high school where you learn all kind of subjects, in post-secondary you will focus on one subject. For example, just like us, we take TESOL, so we only focus on TESOL. We never focus on mathematics and science, right? The second one is for career preparation. It is because in the adult world is harsh, and so you need to face you need to prepare for getting a job. The last one is for personal growth, because when you enter this education, you will be mature, you will be separated from your parents. You will need to develop critical thinking, you will develop your problem solving skills and so on. So why is this still relevant to this day? Because first, it's economic value. If you have higher education, you have better job opportunities and higher salaries. And second, workforce demands. If you want to take a job, they will ask you if you have more experiences in training or you have degrees qualification.
What is STPM though?
Of course, you don't know what is STPM, your foundation. So STPM, it stands for Sijil Tinggi Persekolahan Malaysia, or in English, Malaysian Highest Quality Certificate. It's a national pre-university qualification and is commonly known as Form 6.
How long does it take?
Well, unlike matriculation and foundation, which took 1 year, right? So STPM took 2 years because it has 3 semesters to finish.
Wait, how do you get in though?
It's actually quite simple. At the age of 17 to 20, as long as you pass your SPM and you got a credit in Bahasa Melayu and Sejarah. I think we're going to the next topic, which is the historical development. How does the secondary post-education starts?
Okay, I actually study about this. From the early days, before independence, there were not so many places for post-secondary graduate continue their studies to higher level education in our country. Then, of course, it evolved. After primary and middle school in our country have been fixed from the help of Razak report, Rahman Talib report, and Education Act report. 3 reports that purpose their strategies to develop our education in Malaysia has helped to evolve post-secondary education in our country. In 1921, the first college in our country have been built in Kuala Lumpur. Then in 1949, the University of Malaya, which is currently the highest university in our country, right?
Yes.
But it originally built in Singapore. Then in 1962, then there is a campus of in our country. And then after independence in 1957, Malaysia government start to build more public university for the citizen of Malaysia to pursue their study to the higher levels locally. They don't need to fly to overseas. Then in 1970s and 1980s, Malaysia public universities start to widen, rise. For example, there is University Science Malaysia, there is University Kebangsaan Malaysia, and more. Okay, in 1983, a new program, which is matriculation, introduced to us to help students get better qualification, better skills to get into university more easily. Then in the 1990s, private college started to be allowed to build in Malaysia, which opened more opportunities for the students, especially those who rejected and don't get accepted to public university. To make sure the courses were good and to check student personal qualification before enrolling themselves into university, government has built a system online to check them. And in 2007, a special agency set up to make sure all the university in Malaysia following the rules and gave equal education, proper education to all the students, to all the citizens in Malaysia. In 2013, Malaysia made a big plan to improve education. But in 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic hit us, which bring a big, huge change into our educations. Students start to learn from home. We are having online classes. There is where technology start to use widely in our country educations. And from then on to nowadays, Malaysia is working all the time to make sure that our education is more flexible and ready for the future to reach the world standard.
So I want to know that are there any significant changes over it? Because it seems very important.
Oh, I know.
Well, someone's enthusiastic. Okay, go on.
There's many significant changes over time. One is thanks to the Education Act in 1996, there's private colleges and also universities that has been built. So because of this, public university is now on the post-second education landscape. And not only that, the Education Act also introduces PTPTN, which is Perbadanan Tabung Pendidikan Tinggi Nasional, which is our student loan. And rather than the students have to try and get the scholarship, they can also apply for this so that more access, students can have more option to further their studies. And not only that, there's also a lot of diverse in programs because in 1970s, they were more focused on art subject, but later on, they focuses more on science and also technical fields because of the demand on jobs needed. And however, in the 1980s, they started to introduce specific orientation, like for example, International Islamic University that focuses more on Islamic studies, and also University Utara Malaysia, which focuses on management and business focus. So that's the significant changes.
Okay, I see. Even though it says significant, it actually plays a lot of part. So which makes me feel curious. Does it play an impact on our country's natural progress? Does anyone? Oh, okay. Okay, do it.
Okay, so for the impact on national progress, there's two that I will state here. Based on economy, the economic theory emphasizes the rational decision making in the education. So when the return of education is higher than the cost of education, it means that this investment is valuable and desirable. As a rational consumer, the students will choose the education choice which bring them with the higher return. Human living standards will generally be enhanced due to education when students join institution and earning their bachelor's degrees. It will show Malaysians' lives improve and the country's economy grow faster. The society itself believes that higher education guarantees a better life. And there's also the human capital theory. According to Abidin on 2014, human capital is considered an important component in generating sustainable economic growth. Rapid technological advances and increasing competition have led to major changes in labor market that demand changes in the knowledge-based education system. The more people with better education, the more higher salaries people will get. So for another impact on national progress is the social factors. So according to Jackson, he claimed that the social factors will influence the occupational and educational aspiration among the students. We will have skilled workforce and economic growth. The skilled workforce plays a crucial role in driving economic growth and nation into a knowledge-based economy. There's also ethnic divisions. Higher policies can unintentionally break students by ethnicity. For example, government quotas, language instruction, or admission preferences can make certain ethnic groups to likely attend public universities, while the others end up in private ones.
Progress. So I wonder, does it also play an impact on nation building?
Can I answer this one?
Do again.
Okay, so for nation building, there's still one to talk about identity and also modernization. So identity talks about how we as Malaysians showcase our nation as strength. Modernization, it showcases how we try to catch up with the modern time with the other countries. So for identity, there's local university like University Malaya, which showcase national intellectual identity. So other things like universities in East Malaysia, there's UNIMAS and also UMS, they carry the state names so that it strengthens the national integration and belonging across regions. And other thing is the modernization, right? There's a shift, like I said before, the arts to science and technical fields because it moved towards more industrial and also technological development because of how rapidly growth our technology is right now. So we need to catch up to that. So that's that.
Okay, thank you, Ellie and Shahada, for your perspective on the impact on national progress. So now I think there's one more thing I want to touch upon, which is the current issues and challenges.
Okay. Now let's look at some of the current issue in post-secondary education in Malaysia. Okay, first is graduate employability. Many graduates struggle to get jobs because their skill don't match industry needs. Employers often say that graduates lack technical and problem-solving skills, which leads to higher employment among degree holders. Okay, the next is the gap between private and public universities. Private universities increase access, but many face financial problem and stiff competition. while for public university have limited seats and face pressure to maintain quality with less funding. For the last one is the government is focusing on TVET and internationalization. These policies aim to improve education, but the challenge is to balance quality with fair access for all students. Overall, these challenges show that while our higher education system has grown, there's still work to be done to prepare for graduates for the future. That's all from me.
Okay, thank you all for your perspective regarding this. And seems like to sum it up, since we talk from the history of the development to the current issues and challenges, we can see how the post-secondary education in Malaysia, it has evolved from the limited colonial access to a broad system to encompassing to have universities, colleges, and vocational training. Because it's central to our country's growth. However, there are still, just like you said, there are still challenges remain in quality, employability, and of course the global competitiveness. For my final prediction is that for Malaysia to thrive as a country more, our post-secondary education, it must balance the quantity and quality. They need to adapt more to technology changes and try to continue to foster unity and diversity between all of the students. Because it's not just an investment for the individuals, but it's also for our nation's future. Okay, so I think that is all for our podcast for today. That is all. Thank you and goodbye. Bye.